Well,
it's huge. It's huge. I mean, I don't want to allude too much of my life, but I agree with you on that. It's understanding what exactly the person wants, what the other person wants, and having a full understanding prior to the incident. And that's hugely important, because that's the only way that you know that it's not only just going to be enjoyable, but you have an understanding of each other. And that's a respect thing too, is understanding what each other wants and how they feel.
And one more thing about marriages and other relationships is that I think, Lance, that you tend to assume that, well, that people should have a functioning relationship, or they shouldn't be married anymore. So that when you think of a marriage, you think of a marriage that is largely not dysfunctional. When the abstract marriage you think of is one in which, you know, the people are reasonably happy to be married to each other. But I don't know the percent of marriages where, you know, I don't know the percent of fucked up marriages where they maybe, you know, where there's actual abuse going on and the any kind of aggression is not fun, that it's actually, you know, it's actually abuse. And because we don't know the percent, because we can't assume that most marriages are, you know, and it shouldn't be a matter of most, but because you can't assume that a marriage is functional, you can't say that there's no such thing as marital rape, which is...
I never said there was no such thing.
Well,
I'm just saying
you did. I think you did.
No, I didn't say that. I said what I'm saying now. But let's make this more interesting. I'm going to say something even more controversial, if that's possible. When I was a kid, when I was in high school, I learned a secret that they don't tell you in the feminist workshops. And that is, if you're on a date and you like the girl and she likes you, never ask her if you can kiss her. It's a little risk you got to take. She may not want to be kissed, but you have to take the chance, because if you ask her, there are all kinds of pressures that are going to act to make her say no. And she would have preferred it if you just went ahead and tried. And then if she says no, I do not want to be kissed, then you stop. Because you're not going to, you know, it's not going to be good for anybody if obviously you stop. But my point is that first kiss, part of the excitement, inevitably, is that you don't know how it's going to work out.
Well,
that is true. I mean, as a woman, it gives us something to think about, and that's true. You know, we sit there and contemplate, oh, can I kiss you? Well, now I have time to think about the reasons why you shouldn't kiss me. You know?
That is so true. There's always a million reasons.
There is, but there's, you know, then women always go for why not first instead of why. And, you know, that could be a good and a bad thing. And it's true, but the only thing with women is we have a tendency, if you go to kiss us and we're not okay with it, most of us won't say anything. Right. And that causes a huge problem if they don't say anything.
Thank you. That is like the worst. That is the worst. That, like, the one thing is, you don't want the woman to be afraid of you. You want her to feel like she can tell you what she thinks and is confident, and the not knowing what the result was, that is the worst thing the guy can encounter.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
I gotta say, and then I gotta talk about a secret from your past, Lance.
Who said we can talk about secrets from my past? Well, fuck that shit. I didn't agree with that.
It's not a terrible secret. It's actually a good secret. But
all right. Do not reveal that I have a gigantic winkle.
Hold on.
It's not that?
No,
Oh,
you've seen
okay.
mine like a zillion times. I've never seen yours. But your dad
Oh, do we have to talk about? All right, go ahead. Fine.
was
I know,
the
controlling.
most successful Hollywood writer of Hollywood of romantic comedies in the 1950s.
That's true.
And so, if you talk about the cultural
He
background,
died penniless. I don't have any of his
but
money.
you know, you talk about the way you grew up. You grew up with the arbiter of how romance is supposed to go.
That's not where I learned how to kiss girls.
No, but like in your dad's movies, like Rock Hudson is the one who's going to move in on Doris Day and kiss her. And if it's frickin' Rock Hudson, and you don't know about his real life, you're gonna kiss the crap out of him.
I doubt if our millennial here knows who Rock Hudson was.
You know Rock Hudson.
That's irrelevant to the point. I find it very interesting, though, that for the first time we've got somebody that is under 30 in this hell of debates. It's kind of interesting to hear her perspective.
All
But
right.
so far, I'm liking what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
well, if I have a
She
daughter.
seems very reasonable.
Yeah, it's early.
I have a
very
daughter, and I
early.
used to watch 2.5 Men with her to show her that
Men
guys
are
are scumbags.
We
Um,
are.
But I'm very different and unique in my perspective on things. I still have a high opinion of, Donald Trump, but
You mean you have a low opinion?
low opinion, apologize. I have a low opinion of Donald Trump. I personally do not like the man.
Okay.
But when this first all started, the election, I had said some really not nice things and inappropriate things, and I still don't like the man, but I don't wish death upon him. I just don't want him to be our president anymore. But that's where my when it comes to things like talking about consent and stuff like that, I am a full believer of that. So, my opinions are a little bit different than maybe some other people of my age.